All right, guys. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to another London Session live stream. And here we are as I present you guys the GJ range. And so I caught this move right here, right back down again. Early range transformation, understood the EMAs, got the tap in, and now looking to see if we can have a potential reversal here, where GJ can flick back up here again. The 30-minute candle closed down here. However, it may push back up here. You can see the hour candle is not closed up. We're 2 minutes away from a new 15-minute candle, so it can certainly push back up. So I'll go ahead and list the trade idea here. And so let's put it right here safely around GJ buy stops at, what would this be, 190. Let's see how many pips this is. Oh yeah, 190, 680. And let's measure out the pips here. Let's do about 28. Yep. So 28 pips both ways. TP. So guys, I am setting this as I speak in real time here. So TP is right there, and the SL is 190,400. Right, so quickly setting this, and you can see we got a nice push down here, which again could reject down here and pull back up before the hour candle closes. This is a new 15-minute candle. Could be tapped in on this if it continues to push up here. Again, the price is about, what is it, 4 pips. 4 pips away from the entry point here. So 196.80. Again, 28 pips both ways. There's no bottom wick on the current 15-minute candle, right? So it could push back down again. Or, as we see it on the hourly candle, it could pull back here because, again, the hourly candle has no top wick, which is, again, the London opening hour here. So it can certainly make a move back up here. All right, guys. So still not tapped in on this. Again, this has been placed. The buy stops here for GJ at 196.80. The hour candle is going to close in about 11 minutes. Right, so now the price did go down, create a wick. Right, this is a 15-minute candle that had no bottom wick. And it did create that wick. They reached the bottom as well. And we see a small range right here, about six or 7 pips. Could get price moving right back up top here. And again, this is not a large move, right, for the next, 11 minutes before the hour candle closes. It's only, a 9-10 pip move, right, for it to fall back into this range. And then the proceeding hour can certainly make another push and continue to move up here, at least to, fill up the non-wick candle on the left. And then, again, I'll consider, there's a 30-minute EMA right there. I'll consider closing out partials or putting stops at break even, depending on, again, if it does pull back. It's another attempt right here. New 5-minute candle. Let's see what happens here. Does it pull back? Alrighty. So new 5-minute candle. Again, it pushed right back down again. No problem. No problem at all. No top wick. Can pull right back up top here. We got 9 minutes to go. Does GJ come back up and enter the range again here? Right, there are EMA taps above as well, or EMAs above that the price can certainly tap. So looking for that, but it's certainly continuing with a deeper push here before a potential reversal. Again, still a lot of time left before the hour candle closes. 9 minutes to go. So we'll see how that works out. Okay, comment here yesterday, trade Rock W. Okay, yep. That trade eventually did end up hitting TP. So again, congrats and cheers to everyone who did take that trade and did hold on, even if you took partials along the way, which I did. Still a win and a safe target here. We had a max, I believe. It was a 14 pip stop loss. And, we had a max drawdown of 3.5 pips. And it went straight, even beyond 14 pips. So great setup there, great trade. And again, cheers to everyone who did take it and hold it to either a partial profit or a complete TP target here. Again, GJ is pulling back once again, attempting to pull back and potentially close. As I said, the hour candle right here, close back in the range. If it does that, I will be tapped in and potentially price can fill up the non-wick candle on the left and continue at least to complete the small range here, even if it dumps down past, once it reaches that level. So I think it's a safe target. Again, if it does continue pushing down as it is pulling down here, there's no worries because we won't be tapped in, right? So there is safety there. And yep, it does appear to be continuing to push down here. But again, there's no top wick on the current candle. Of course, there's still 7 minutes to go. There's 2 minutes left for a new 5-minute candle. And again, I don't mind that it continues to push down here. I can certainly always adjust and modify the buy stops here, but I still feel comfortable with the current buy stop, which is at 196.80. but it is pulling here. Again, we'll make a decision very soon here whether I hold on to the buy stops going into the new 1 hour candle, or do I modify and adjust the buy stops to get a better position if indeed the price will reverse. Okay, how many pips is the SL? So it's 28 pips both ways. So 28 pip SL, 28 pip TP for a 1-to-1. And here comes a new 5-minute candle. We're seconds away. And again, I'm still leaning on GJ pulling back here. Again, a lot of time left. 6 minutes. We can certainly see this full move right back up top here from GJ, right? Which is, again, is maybe 9, 10, 11 pips. Yeah. A lot of time left for GJ to move back up. 6 minutes to go. No top wick on the current candle. The hourly candle here, which is again the London opening hour candle, had no top wick, right? So I can certainly see price moving back up, filling in the normal candle up, potentially getting up to the TP target because we do have some EMA taps above here, right? You can see, and price has respected this level a few times over, but I'll certainly, again, be cautious of a rejection somewhere within this range, and that's why I will close out partials along the way for this particular setup. Alrighty, new 5-minute candle. Let's see. Still pushing here. Now we have a decent amount of gap here, about 14 pips. So that's where now I can consider adjusting, because again, remember, we were not tapped in on this. So I can consider modifying, but not quite, since it is pulling back here. But again, the fact that it did pull down here, I could consider modifying and getting a better entry just in case, right? If the trade reach at the SL level, but the entry is not trigger, will the trade still be valid or not? So no, I would not. I would probably not. If it does push down another 28 pips, then I'm gonna, of course, the buy stops would be removed, long removed, right? There's no point in holding back because now you have to wait 28 pips just to be tapped in, right? That's way too many pips here. So what I would do is I would remove it, look for a better range to trade, and then come back and set some buy stops or sell stops, right, accordingly. So it would invalidate if it does reach the SL level at that point. All right, so it still has not reached the level, but you can see a slight reversal here. I'm leaning on making another modification here, one more modification here. Can we do that? 640. Can we get there? All right, you know what? 4 pip difference here. Let's do that quickly. So the first thing I would do is modify the buy stop 640, and then 360 here, stop loss, and then I'd modify the TP target here, right? 920. So there you go, modification set. And now between the price and the buy stop level is only about 6-7 pips, which is again better because now I got a 4 pip upgrade or downgrade, as you want to say, so I can get tapped in earlier if I still believe in the reversal here. 3 minutes to go here. GJ is again still reluctant to push up here. It did move down some pips here as well, 5 pips below where it is at right now, as much as 11, 12 pips from the modified buy stop now, and now it's as close as what, 5 pips, 6 pips, 5.5 pips. Again, the previous candle has no top wick here, so we can certainly see this move coming here. And again, a small range here, which is not bad at all. You can see it pull up, fill up this non-wick candle, and then break to the upside. The next target would be the bottom end of this larger range, the 28 pip range. And there's EMAs above, and of course 15, 30-minute EMA, non-wick candle fill on the left. At this point, I would consider closing some partials, adjusting stops in profit, and then letting runners run potentially to the TP target now. And now you can see since we modified the buy stops, now we have the TP set in within the scope of the range that was drawn out here, right? So everything is fitting nicely here, and we're a minute away now. So the hour candle will close down here. It will certainly close down here. The 2-hour candle, ooh, the 2-hour EMA is right there as well. But let's see. Does it pull back? Because again, the 2-hour close still has some time left over. It's still going to be another hour left before the 2-hour candle closes. So we can certainly see it pull back, right? With GJ respecting the smaller zone here in this range. Pull back here, maybe push up here, and then pull back right down before the 2-hour candle closes here. We can certainly see that. Let's see. So I'm still going to keep the buy stops open. And that's my explanation why. And again, there's safety here, right? Because it's about 5 pips away. So if GJ does continue pulling down, there's safety that we won't be tapped in and there's no worries, right? So if it continues pushing down, no problem. I'll remove the buy stops, look for a better range to trade, then come back again and set a buy stop or sell stop, depending on the case. On the other hand, if it does pull up here, then I'll be tapped in here and we have some confluences above where price can reach. And by that time, I would have secured profit and put stops either in small profit or a break even, which makes it risk free. So even if the trade doesn't go all the way to TP, I still have profited off the setup and made it risk free and of course profitable and exited with a win and on to the next. All right, guys. So we got the new 1-hour candle. And as I mentioned, I'm still holding on to the buy stops because if GJ does pull back here and still, with the 2-hour candle here, it can pull back. If it does pull back and reach, somewhere in between this range here, I'll have profited and exited with a win. And, then let it drop if it is going to come back down to tap the 2-hour EMA and beyond. But, right, if it does pull back, I'll be tapped in. And I could profit off of this. That's why I was holding on to the buy stops. If the 1-hour candle was going to continue down here, because again, we had some space, right? Some breathing room between the price and the buy stop. And if it was going to pull back, continue down, then I would be tapped in and I wouldn't have to worry about the buy stops, right? I would just remove it once it reaches a certain level here. But now price is pushing here, and you can see I had mentioned that there was a small range in play, right? And that's why price is respecting that. There's a non-wick candle on the left, which you can fill. By the time price is over here, we could see a push up here to the bottom end here with the 5-minute EMA. and of course the non-wick candle, and at somewhere at this point, I'll consider, taking partials or whatnot. Right? Of course, it does depend on, many other factors as well. How price is moving, how far we are from a 15 or 30-minute candle, right? Whether there's a small range in play. So a lot of different factors I have to consider. Of course, I see it, all from a different angle because again, I've been used to the system for so long, and I kind of curated certain factors into play. Of course, it is my own system, so that's the advantage. Alrighty. So not tapped in here. It's close call. Did not get tapped in here. Anyone get tapped in? If anyone is a part of the setup here. Close call. All right, here it is. Just making another push here again. Could be tapped in here. Okay, so some of you guys did get tapped in. Okay. Alrighty. Let's see what happens here. All right, it's a nice push. All right, this may be it. Most likely would be, oh, yep, there you go. Just got tapped in. There we go. Alrighty. So anybody that was a part of the setup here that did modify to 196.40 would have been tapped in here at this point. And you can see on the 1 hour candle here, it can certainly get to the 1 hour EMA. And again, that's why I held on to the buy stops going into the new 1 hour candle, because there's EMAs within this range that is drawn up here, and it can certainly get there. Even if GJ is bearish, it can get to these levels here and then drop back down and continue down here, right? Even within this 1 hour time frame here. So within the next 54 minutes, we could see this full move right here, all the way up here, reject here, and it can come all the way down here and close down here within the next 54 minutes. All this is possible, right? GJ has certainly shown us many, many times over that this is a strong possibility, right? We could see a lot of movement here coming up. Of course, now GJ, I'm looking for the 5-minute EMA as the next target for GJ. If it can certainly get there, break this level here, and certainly get to this, bottom end of this larger range, it can certainly get to the 5-minute EMA. If it can get here, next target is a wick fill here. There's a 1 hour EMA here as well. 15 and 30-minute EMAs up here. And I think at this point I may close out fully or close partials here with stops potentially at break even or even in slight profit. Alrighty. Let's see what happens here. All right, we still got GJ pushing down. Let's see what happens here. Again, this is tapped in here. We're about, what is it, about 8 pips in drawdown here. And you can still see that there's this smaller range in play here from here all the way up to here. And it did reach at the top here, and it came right back down. And now, let's see, does it attempt to break to the downside here, right? So where I'll close out, maybe cut some losses here, or does it pull back to the top here, right? This is going to be very critical, because if it does break out of this level here, we can certainly see it push down further. Looking at the left, you know, there's a lot of room for GJ to push down. All right, where would be the first target, or so the profit target is 199.20. Of course, now within a 1-to-1, right? So this is a 1-to-1 risk to reward. There's definitely a lot of areas where I'll consider closing out partials, depending again how price moves, right? So there's a lot of factors you have to consider, and each trade setup is unique, right? There may be similar factors to consider in multiple setups here, but nonetheless, there's a lot of different things that I have to look for: how price is moving, you know, time frame, larger, lower time frame, candle openings, closures, EMAs that are found within the range, non-wick candles, and it's just not one single factor that I look at, right? And it may be a combination, you know, and other factors as well, right? I mentioned that there's an inverse correlated pair that I trade with GJ, right, which is USDCAD. So yesterday I did trade USDCAD. I'm always looking at, you know, GJ as well, because they have the inverse correlation, and it's not always, not 100% of the time, but you know, it's 60 to 70% of the time in the session that I trade, you know, it is visible. And you know, that's one of the reasons why I have the mentorship available as well, because again, I do make sure that we go through and finalize, right, the setup here. So if I do exit the YouTube stream without the trade completing, I will make sure that the trade is complete during the mentorship, right? And again, the important thing is how I manage the trade actively, right? Even if it's a 1-to-1, we can still come out with the win, even if the trade does not end up hitting TP, right? And I believe that truly, right, taking partials, adjusting, you know, your stop loss, and you know, even your TP, which I spoke about yesterday as well, you know, making those changes in a 1-to-1 risk to reward can be critical. And I think long term profitability aspect of things, you know, it will get you there, right? So consistently profitable, right? We hear that term a lot. I think active trade management has a lot to do with that, right? So if you manage the trade actively, even if it's a 1-to-1, don't set and forget about it. Manage the trade actively, understand how markets are moving, understand how your pair is moving, understand which time frame you're trading, and you may need to scale down and scale up, and you know, be aware of the time, of course, be aware of the session you're trading, news events, etc. So a lot of different components that you have to put into play. Initially, it may be, you know, it may seem difficult, but over time, everything will be normalized, right? And then you become much more comfortable, and you know, the markets will tell a story, and how you perceive it is the goal, and perceiving it, you know, with a proper system in play and following your rules, you know, will definitely get you there. Alrighty, so GJ is still stuck at the bottom end of this smaller zone here, and let me just draw that up here so you guys can see right here. So it's been stuck here from top to bottom here, and if I want to, you know, get it to the end of the wick here, right here. So yeah, let's see. New 5-minute, 15-minute candle as well. See what happens here. And so does GDA drop and continue down, or does it make another jump back up here? Right, the 2-hour EMA is down there. Of course, it can certainly continue down. There's a 2-hour candle close coming up as well. So may cut a loss here, depending again how this candle moves here. Alrighty, so again, GDA is attempting to pull back up here in the small range that we see here. It's probably under 10 pips. Yeah, right around 10 pips. Okay. So which side does it break out on? And you can see how, you could see the small ranges in play. And because again, I trade the range, right? My whole system is based on, trading the range. And I'm looking at the small range here. And if it does continue breaking out to the bottom here, then I can cut my losses as well, right? So it's a risk parameter that I've set here as well, the smaller range. If it breaks out to the bottom, then it may certainly continue down. These are, of course, all 5-minute candles here. And we have a new 5-minute candle coming up in less than 2 minutes. So let's see. Let's see what price does here. You can see it's creating another wick as it matched the left here. Does it pull back up here? You can also see the 5-minute candle is fast approaching this small range here as well. So it's definitely a target there. What does GJ do here? All right, guys, it's a new 5 minute candle. Now there's two consecutive 5 minute candles here. Actually, no, the previous one did have a bottom wick, but this current one has no bottom wick here, but it's making that push here. Again, still battling to be in this range right here. And again, if it now again for a, will be the third time now, if it does reach the top end of this range here, I really thought that this push may have gotten us over the top here, or I think it was this push, sorry, may have pushed us over, but nonetheless it did not. And now this push may get us to the top here, and it can certainly, if it does reach the top here, it can certainly make that push to the 5 minute EMA. Right, I'm looking at this, and it's certainly a possibility. It's not giving up on breaking out yet. So we have a chance here. And again, the trade is still well alive. See how this works out. So currently about, what is it? About 7 pips in drawdown here. And again, we barely got to entry here, and it dragged itself down. Now it's been ranging. What does it do here? This new 5 minute candle coming up. So now we may get this current candle with the bullish close here. And here comes a new 5 minute candle. Let me drag this a little longer here. Let's see now. So there's a 5 minute candle come back down, right? We're approaching a 30 minute candle now. So new 30 minute candle, new 15 minute candle coming up in less than 5 minutes. Do we get this 5 minute candle coming down here and continuing to move down, or does it just push up from here and continue up here? So again, a very important candle right here, this 5 minute candle, the current 5 minute candle. It appears that it's pushing down here, but again has no top wick. No top wick yet. It's coming down here. May fill that up on the left here. Certainly a strong push here. And then we'll see how it reacts here. Does it pull back up? Oh, there's that push. Okay. Strong push here again. No top wick on the current candle. But certainly has made a strong bearish push here. And filled up the non-wick candle on the left. Now does it pull back, or does it continue down here? Right? Critical here. Strong push here. Again, I'm leaning on holding on just in case, because again, we do have some breathing room. It's a 28 pip SL here. Leaning on holding just because the current candle has no top wick. Does it flick back? Has not closed below the range. Let's see. Still 4 minutes to go. There's a 2-hour EMA right there. It tapped the 2-hour EMA as well. So it could be a rejection there, at least temporarily, and flick back up here. But a critical candle here. And we'll have to decide whether I hold on to the setup or not. Because I can, again, cut my losses here. If it's a 1% risk, I can cut it at, what is this, 0.5%? Yeah, it should be around 14 pips now. So it'll be a 0.5%, loss here. But let's see, does it reverse here? It did tap the 2-hour EMA. We got 3 minutes left before the new 30-minute candle opening here. And current candle has no top wick here, so it can certainly reverse here. And that's why I'm still holding on here, right? So again, you really have to dig deeper into, the smaller time frames, especially as a scalper, and identify, key areas, and see if there are certain levels that price can respect and reject and still go according to the direction that you're trading, right? So right now it's still giving me, the trade is still giving me confidence that yes, there was going to be some drawdown here, but of course I did measure that out before the play and kept it to 28 pips. Both sides here, I could have gone with 22, 23, 24 pips, but kept it to 28 pips just as a safety measure. And again, that's also something that you have to consider, right? Every setup won't be 28 pips for a 1-to-1 on GJ, right? Sometimes I may have 23, 24, 21, 22. So you have to factor a lot of those, or you have to factor in, different different components within a range, and identify whether the stop loss is in fact good enough for that particular range trade, right? It may not be, and you don't want to be stopped out too early, right? If I had a smaller stop loss, let's say 15, 16 pips on this, which again, I wouldn't set for any GJ range, by the way. So, within my course, I do, list out what a small range for GJ would be, what a medium sized range for GJ would be. I also trade USDCAD, so I also, mention small range in terms of pip size, medium and large, and so forth. Right, and again, that's through years of experience where I have seen that many ranges, when they're of that size, they work out much more better with a higher probability than, let's say, a smaller size range. Right, so it's a game of probabilities here, and you need data and metrics to identify, right? And of course, experience, chart experience, looking at price action to really, build out a grounded system in which, will eventually play out and, could make you consistently profitable, right? There's a lot of, again, added factors here. Nothing is guaranteed in the markets, of course. All right, so new 30-minute candle. So it's still closed. You can see it's still closed within that range level here. And so I'm still going to hold on here because it has not given me a confirmation yet to pull out of the trade. And it still respected that range level here. Now it is, again, a new 30-minute candle. Previous candle has no top wick. Closed out with a larger bottom wick here, so there is chances of it reversing here as well. Again, the 5-minute EMA continues to get closer and closer to this smaller range that GJ has been respecting. So let's see, what does the price do here? Alrighty here. So again, we I did mention here the 30-minute candle did close within this smaller range, and that's why I've drawn out this box here, right, to map out the smaller range that's in play. And whichever side it breaks out to, right, if it breaks out to the upside here, of course, we'll be in profit. If it breaks out to the downside here, if it closes, we had a strong close below this level here, which is about halfway into the full stop loss here, I will consider closing out and cutting out the losses here, right? So the fact that it's juggling between, in drawdown here, between the break-even point and beyond the halfway point in drawdown, I'm still holding on to the setup, right? So let's see, let it make a move either above or below for me to consider making adjustments here, whether I close out, let's say I break even, or I let it ride. If it does break above, of course, that might be a thing to do here. If of course it is pushing up here and it breaks out here, I could certainly see it move up maybe 10-15 pips above, and then consider closing out partials and whatnot. But of course, if it continues to move down here as we're approaching a 2 and 4 hour close, then I may want to cut my losses here, because again, it can certainly make that full move here, right? But I'm still, again, leaning on GJ pushing up here, at least with the 5-minute EMA. The 5-minute EMA continues to climb down here, and we could see price by the time the 5-minute EMA is down here, we could see price reaching up here, and it could potentially break above it. All right, we have the 1-hour EMA right there as well. Actually, it's above there. So we'll see how that works out here, but this may be a close call here. Let's see what GJ does here. Again, GJ did come down with this wick here and tap the 2-hour EMA, which is below the price, as you can see. So it did tap the 2-hour EMA. Is it going to go for another tap again, or does it respect the small range and flip right to the top end of this, break out, and continue up here? Again, I don't think if GJ does, return bullish here, I don't think it'll last too long before a bearish continuation. So leaning on, getting the small range trade here before a potential drop right back down, unless of course it just continues bearish from here, which would invalidate this setup here. But nonetheless, still holding on here. Oh, it is pushing down here. So again, it's going to be very key here. It's a new 5-minute candle. So a new 5-minute candle just opened up. And let's see what happens here. Again, a strong level here of support in the smaller range here. But let's see how long it holds up here. We're 5 minutes away from a new 15-minute candle as well. You can see it's pretty much been in this much smaller zone here for the last, what is it? About 30 minutes. A 5-6 pip zone. All right, 4 minutes to go before a new 15-minute candle. Again, GJ is still respecting that support level. And now, right, if we really look closely here, we have this larger, let me just show you guys here. So we have this larger, smaller range here, about 12 pips now. And then now we have this much smaller range right here. And again, a breakout to either direction could also give us an indication, and I will factor that in, right, whichever side it breaks out to, beyond this 5-6 pip zone, for me to consider again holding on, or of course, if it does push up or push down, closing out here. But it's been in the smaller range here for about 30 plus minutes now. And let's see, 3 minutes to go before a new 15-minute candle. And let's look at the 15-minute time frame again. A lot of rejections at the bottom here. And there's been no bullish engulfing candle for the last, I mean, how long is this? For over 2.5 hours here. So strong bearish momentum here from GJ. But again, still trying to steal this move here from GJ before maybe the continuation right back down. Alrighty, it'll go back up in the next 30-45 minutes. Can easily hold on to this trade. Sell pressure is fading slowly. Yeah, let's see what happens here. We got, what, 17 minutes to go. There's a new 4-hour candle coming up. Of course, you know, with bearish pressure here, if it does continue down, then, you know, we don't have much more room here. It's about what? Yeah, halfway. It's about halfway there. And, you know, if there's a strong bearish continuation, then 14 pips is nothing for GJ. And, you know, would be stopped out here. But of course, I'm trying to prevent that from happening, right? And I'd rather cut my losses short if that is indeed the case. But again, I'm still holding on here and not cutting losses because I still feel that this range right here is still valid and is going to hold up here. And then on top of that, I give you guys a bonus here to look at, is this much smaller range, which is also in play right now. And whichever side it breaks, you know, breaks to, I will make an adjustment accordingly, right? If it breaks out to the upside here, then we could see GJ moving all the way up top to this larger range here, right? If it breaks out of this, we can see it reaching back this range here. And again, the 4-hour candle is not closed yet. So the 4-hour candle can certainly close within this range level and continue up here before making that push down. Alrighty. Pound is down overall. Check BUP. Other pairs again. Yeah, that's a possibility. But again, we also have to look at what the pair is attached to as well, right? So GP may be down, but is JPY up, right? We don't know that, right? I mean, of course, if you follow fundamentals, you may know, but just because one, you know, currency is down, it doesn't mean the other is going to go up here, right? So it could be a direct and indirect or no movement at all, right? We don't know that. So you have to, you know, have experience with the pair that you trade, limit the pairs that you trade. And just because other GUP pairs are going down, it doesn't always mean that, you know, GJ will also go down as well. That's something I learned very, very early on, right? If it was that easy, you know, I think a lot of us would be very rich. And now I should mention a few things though, right? Certain GP pairs may be alike, right? May have a direct correlation, but not all GBP pairs, right? And you can also match that over time, not over just a small period of time, but a longer period of time, and take a look for yourself. So GU, right? GBPUSD and GBPJPY have similarities, right? They may move in the same direction from time to time, but not always the case. And again, that can never be the sole reason why, you know, you take a trade, right? I mean, it certainly can be, right? You can choose whatever reason, you know, to take a trade, but if that's, you know, your standard in assessing whether a pair is, you know, bullish or bearish, that's going to be difficult in the long term. All right, again, we see a lot of respect here of this support here But at the same time, as it's respecting the support on the smaller range, it also is weakening the support as well, right? So just because we have all these wicks here, it doesn't mean that GJ can't make a huge push and then pull back up, right? But with that pull, you can also be stopped out here. But again, I still feel that it's a strong enough smaller range, and GJ has been moving around 5-6 pips here. Still feel that again the 5-minute EMA is getting closer and closer, and I've been tracking this throughout the stream here, and I really like this potential move here where GJ can push up here, tap the 5-minute EMA, and at that point I really have to consider whether I want to hold on or not. But price continues to dip down here. You're going to see the 2-hour EMA is right there as well. Yeah, I can certainly see price getting to the 5-minute EMA. Whether it dips down first and then comes up, but the 5-minute EMA certainly is a reasonable target for price to reach. And we're about 11 minutes away now from a new 4-hour candle here. All right, guys. We did cross the 1-hour mark here on the stream here. So again, I did mention on the YouTube stream I won't be sticking around for too long. I will continue with the mentorship members on Zoom, and price is pushing up here. So again, the rest of the trade management will be done on Zoom here for this setup here. And so I'll wrap it up in the next 2 minutes here, right? So we'll see if price reaches the top here. Again, I like the 5-minute EMA, but I will wrap up the stream here in 2 minutes, and we will continue on Zoom with the mentorship members, right? So not only do we look at just the current setup, we also look at the other pairs that are not shared on the YouTube stream. As again, I mentioned that I have another pair that I trade very, very often, right? If you have been on the streams long enough, you know that USDCAD and GJ are the two pairs that I trade, 90% of the time, right? And they have an inverse correlation, which really helps with, me understanding direction here. And look at that push. What a beautiful push, from GJ here. Felt strongly throughout. This whole setup, I felt very strong about this whole setup here. But again, kept safe measures in play because I understood that GJ has a bearish momentum And to protect myself against that, had to keep it to 28 pips on both ends. All right, guys, so I'm going to wrap up the YouTube stream here. Again, GJ is pushing up here. And so the rest of the trade management, I will call it on the Zoom stream with the membership members. Take care. Enjoy the rest of the day. Safe trading as always. And I will be back tomorrow, guys. Take care.